No, you're fine. I don't know where I was going with that anymore.
I don't know where I was going.
Does everyone have ADHD here?
Yeah.
ADHD and a shot.
Oh my god. You have a podcast?
Daniel, compose yourself. Everybody stay calm!
I had a mental breakdown.
Little cheeky fuckers.
Am I dreaming? Because I can't see, I can't read.
Are the road Coral days behind us?
I'm going to talk about Jose Antonio Francisco.
You are listening to the Quinn-tessentials podcast.
Last time we did this, we started this off with a shot. So I feel like anytime we have Cole on,
Whoa! That's a big shot.
It's not that big. It looks way bigger.
Oh, you've got a proper shot glass. I've got a wine glass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you also had a wine glass. Like, damn. What?
No, not yet. Cheers.
Cheers to Danielle, who couldn't be here.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, shit. That one snuck up on me.
Anyways, this was great. I know.
It's okay. Hey. I'll just get hyper on orange soda, so that's all good.
Shit, it's like I'm high on life. Hey.
Hi.
It's always so weird to just like go into it because we do a little bit of small talk. We do a little shot to get started.
Well, I'll tell you this because I haven't talked to you guys like this since the last time I've been on. And the nice things that you guys said about me was absolutely insane.
Really?
Yes. But thank you so much. And I gotta say that when we started doing it last time, I was so nervous to do it with you guys.
Yeah.
Not because of you guys or anything, but I wanted to be entertaining. And halfway through that first podcast, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No.
Felt like a first date, and now we're like on the 5th date, and it's gonna get weird.
Maybe by season 3 we'll introduce you to our families. It'll be so official.
Include you in the Christmas card.
Yeah.
We're -1 today. Danielle couldn't be here, but guess what, guys? We have Cole back from last season, and if you don't follow Cole on TikTok, or I guess Instagram now, we don't know what's going on with TikTok anymore.
Oh God.
I know, but yeah, if you don't follow Cole, go follow her. She's at Chole Miller. She talks about a lot of really fun things, and as of late, she's been talking a lot more about Pedro Pascal, like the rest of the world.
Yeah, the daddy.
The world's cool slutty daddy.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Last time we had you on, it was because we wanted to talk about Joe and all that good stuff. And then we also did a little bit of a deep dive into like the other 2 loves of your life.
Love of my lives. Yeah.
So now we get to like completely shift a little bit and talk more about, Andrew and Charlie and Pedro. And then for a while there, we had like a little stint with Hot Priest from Fleabag. And I knew I wanted to do an episode dedicated to him, but I was like, no, we're going to wait for Cole.
I'll talk about Hot Priest all day. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I felt so much guilt off of that. My face is getting hot just thinking about it.
I rewatched it this week and I was just like, there's a reason that I got so caught up in this in season. Actually, I brought this with me, the Fleabag scriptures. So it's the script for season 1 and season 2. It's just all, and
how did you?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
Yeah, it's nothing special.
Gosh.
But in the back, she talks about Andrew Scott, who plays the Hot Priest, and how she was like, it was always going to be him. He knew what he wanted to bring to it, and was like, just nerd out over it. Oh my goodness.
He, I hear, is also like the sweetest person in the world.
Yeah.
I have seen those interviews where he is just so engaging, and I think that's one of the reasons why we love these men so much, right? Is because you can just tell from their whole demeanor and body language that they're just these inherently good people.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that I really liked him in Black Mirror, that episode.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was my first time seeing him, and I was like, what a dick. And then as the story goes, you're like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean?
You guys never saw him in Sherlock being Moriarty?
I saw bits, yeah.
He's so good in that.
I really like I like Shannon. I've seen like little pieces of it, but I really like that concept of him being Moriarty. I don't know. He's just so cool to me.
He is, and I remember watching that when it was coming out because I was a big into Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But he just is not someone that you would expect being Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looks a little unassuming, and then he's just so, I mean, Moriarty's crazy evil anyway, but there's something like almost like impish about him where you're like, oh, you're psychotic. It's crazy.
I played a lot of Sherlock Holmes like video games, and they always portray Moriarty as like this big guy, similar to Sherlock. And in this show, it's like he's short. And
he's shorter than him, and he's always looking down. And
yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
The thing about him is that he has this like almost like an innocent, boyish look to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that is the part that I always kind of looked back and I was like, oh, okay. It's so funny because like you see somebody with a baby face and you're like, I wonder what they're going to look like in their 40s. And then you look at Andrew Scott and you're like, yes.
Yep.
There he goes.
What really gets me is his voice is so pretty, like the actual Irish accent. And the thing is, they're all a little different. You know, I learned from, out of all people, Jacksepticeye online, who's also Irish. Each little village and region, they have their own like Irish accent. Like they're all a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Killian's doesn't sound like Andrew's. You know what I mean? It's a little different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His is almost like a little, I don't want to say musical, but there's like a nice little flow to it, you know, that's very pretty.
Seems like you get a lot of that from Fleabag when he's like, I don't know, there's something about him in Fleabag where it's just like, and it's got to be obviously just him, he's just so magnetic. And I've said this a couple times of like, some of the things he says that like on paper are like kind of goofy and like, certain other actors, you'd be like, ew, what the hell? But he's just so charming that, like, what's that part where she says, like, are you okay, father? And he goes, fuck you calling me for father, like it doesn't turn you on just to say it. And you're like, whoa! And it just, like, it kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, damn.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene. Well, and it's so funny because there's so many times, kind of going along with that, there's so many times where he says some things that I'm just like, oh my god, that's so cute. And then other times I'm like, sir. Like, I mean, yeah, that's the whole premise, right? Whenever he like gets so freaked out, when she's like, what are you doing up? It's 9:45.
And he's like, I like going to bed at 9:30 right now. And you're like, well, he's a dork. He's a dork.
And he's like, oh, I thought you were there, but then you really are like there. And the way he said like, dare. I don't know. That I thought was like the cutest like little thing. And then he said that whole line about calling him father. And I'm like, oh God. Like, it's like emotional whiplash that you get from his character.
Mm-hmm.
You like want to respect it and you want to admire it, but then like you're kind of turned on by it. Then you're like, oh, this is so wrong. They really did such a wonderful job writing his character, and his portrayal of that character was just absolutely fucking impeccable.
I also remember watching it for the first time, and I rewatched it this week, and just like how earnest he is about like, I like you, but like it's not like a cat and mouse thing. He's like, yes, there's an obvious attraction here that we both feel, but this is not what's going to happen. And then you're like, oh wow, he just came out and said that. Okay, so he gets it.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to play it a little more coy than they did, and I was like, oh, good for him.
I grew up Catholic.
So did I.
My childhood, I was communion, all that baptism and all that good stuff. And, it like a priest is like the closest to God that you can get in your town, right? And so to me, seeing that humanity from a priest, and you're like, it really, honestly, and I hate to put it this way because I am not Catholic anymore, but it really did humanize Catholic priests for me.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too, is that like it's a matter of like he's kind of the same age as her. Like his first introduction, he's swearing, he's drinking, and he's like, I don't know, there's something about it that is really humanizing and very refreshing of just like, I don't know, this is just something that kind of was my calling. I didn't do it before, and he like even mentions like offhand how much he's like slept around with people before, and he's like, it's just something that kind of felt right, and not, oh, I've been doing this since like I was like 16 and thought that I was going to be a priest or whatever. And the stakes were higher because he's like, I've had sex and I've done other things that in my life, so I know what I gave up, basically.
What I'm missing out on,
that I think is really interesting.
Shannon, you're going to have to watch it.
Oh,
you
Shannon
really
hasn't watched it.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched it. I'm sorry. But I get it, and I know the actor, so I understand like the vibe, you know, and he's attractive. So.
And I always forgot how like it's like 6 episodes and 30 minutes each. It's such a quick watch too.
Yeah.
And I like British humor. You know, I kind of grew up with not the saying it's probably the same humor, but the Shaun of the Deads and the Hot Fuzzes, like
dry.
Yeah. Smart humor.
Murray from Stranger Things has a role in there too, Shannon.
Insufferable.
Like the biggest prick. You'll hate him.
Oh, he's so likable in Stranger Things. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He plays that really well.
I just got chills thinking about his character.
Fuck.
Please watch it. I am so curious to know your thoughts on it, Shannon.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, well, fuck. I should have watched it. I'm sorry. I was kind of distracted because I was
not feeling great.
I had a really weird brain fog too from being sick too. So
it's okay. It happens.
I did watch a movie with Cillian Murphy that had Andrew Scott in it, and it was really good.
What was it?
That's a really good question.
Let's find out.
I saw you guys did an episode on him. I didn't listen to it yet, but I was like, oh, I started Peaky Blinders and I never thought that I understood the Cillian Murphy thing. But then I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Until Peaky Blinders, listen.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, how to me, Red Eye kind of changed my perspective on what I found attractive, because there is this like conventionally good looking like people, and then there's people like Cillian Murphy who just have these like unusual features that are like masculine and yet very feminine, and that he just teeters so beautifully in that line.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just live for it.
The movie's called The Delinquent Season.
Oh yeah.
So he ends up having an affair with his wife's best friend, and the woman he has an affair with, Andrew Scott, plays her husband. So he teeters on this line of being like a good guy and like a bad guy in a way. But his role was important. It was actually a scene that he was in that made me cry. Because it was just done so well.
I meant to watch that. And it's so funny because, Cole, the way we've changed this podcast as of late is we like pick somebody to talk about for the week. We do like fun facts about them. We learn about them. We like dreamcast them. And then we talk about filmography. And so when we did Cillian Murphy, we went through so much filmography for that man.
I watched so many movies. Oh my God.
There was so much. Like so much so that like by the time we finished that episode, we were like, all right, we got to switch this up.
We got to cut some movies out.
Is he in a lot of movies?
He's been around for over 20 years. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I knew he was in Batman, but
yeah. Did you ever watch 28 Days Later?
I want to say yeah, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about that movie. Apparently he's in it.
He's the lead character.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a zombie apocalypse.
Well, I'm not usually into like the zombie thing, which is why I was so surprised that I liked The Last of Us as much as I did. But with The Last of Us, it was more about the relationships and not so much the survival. I mean, the survival of it kind of, but it was mostly about Joel and Ellie.
Really wonderful segue into talking about Pedro.
Did you like that?
Last episode, Laura called him Pedrito, and I just want to call him Pedrito Pascalito.
Pedrito. Yeah, we gotta call him Pedrito.
Oh, I wore the shirt like you told me to.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, sexy lady.
Oh my gosh. You guys, if you're listening, Cole has this t-shirt that just literally only has Pedro's face on it. And I need you to tell the story about how you decided to get this shirt, because I saw this TikTok and I died.
Well, I had been like seeing it pop up and everything like that. And then sometimes I have a drink or two. And then I go on Etsy and I just start like looking up stuff. So like, I've got this really cool like Dolly Parton, one of those things you hang off your rearview window, like an air freshener thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was getting like Daredevil stuff, and that popped up. This shirt popped up, and I was like, you know what? I've been kind of joking about getting this, and I don't like to get like something this flashy and nerdy because I'm worried I won't wear it out because I get real self-conscious about it. But drunk me was like, I'll wear that all the time. So I got it. And I did wear it out last weekend. So I was like, oh, there you go.
Did you get so many compliments on it?
You know, I can't remember. I think it was St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that's perfect.
And it had some green. Yeah, I wore it because I was like, oh, it's green. That works. My friends loved it.
So if you would like a Pedro Pascal t-shirt, like the one Cole has, go on Etsy and look up Pedro Pascal t-shirt.
I feel like I should shout out that shop that I got it from. Go ahead, I'm gonna look it up.
Please.
It looks very similar to my Joseph Quinn shirt because it's like a similar font, except mine's purple and it's in like a. I wore it when we did our group picture with Joseph.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh yeah, how was that? I heard the episode. I heard you smash Danielle's mug.
Oh my God, mug date.
Oh my God.
I know that's triggering. I'm sorry.
There's nothing like seeing that in person. Danielle's face just went, and Laura was like, and I just sat there like, what the fuck do I do?
Let me tell you, I would rather go through my top 3 most embarrassing moments of my life than to see that Danielle's face expression when that happened. Oh. Do you know how awful it is to hear how excited your friend is to give that mug to the person you've been talking about for the last 6 fucking months, and then you just fucking shatter that shit? Oh, God.
Yep. When I was listening to that, I was just like, oh, I've done stuff like that where like, clearly it's a total accident, but you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I was even indirectly the person that made that happen.
I can't even begin to tell you. It was just a whole thing. And honestly, and she was over it. She really truly was, but like I was not going to sleep for the rest of my life if I didn't find a replacement. The way I ran through that fucking con to find
in some heels at that. She was dressed to the nines that day, and she's just like hauling ass around the fucking con.
I wore my Bratz doll heels for no fucking stupid idea. Who does that? You know, me. I did. I wanted.
It was their first con, and I'm there like super cozy sneakers, and they're like, I'm gonna look cute, but I'm like, I bet their feet are killing them right now.
My feet were.
You won in the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. No, the con was amazing. If you ever get a chance to go, which can we talk about something?
Sure.
Because we're going to Philadelphia.
I know, you told me.
And somebody else is going to Philadelphia. Charlie's going to Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, I know. People have just been messaging me, like, you're going to Philadelphia, right? Joe and Charlie's going to be there. And I was like, oh. I would love to, but I can't make it work.
Yeah, I get it.
I want to be in a field in Tennessee somewhere.
You know what? I will make it my mission to get at least one of them to say your name. Don't worry.
Oh, that scares the shit out of me.
At least one British man will say hello, Cole.
Oh, man, that gives me the chills.
I feel like I'm delusional. I was talking about this last week, how delusional we were that Joseph was going to make an appearance all through award season.
Oh, sure.
I was like, surely he will certainly be attending the Golden Globes. He will definitely be at the Oscars presenting.
He just looks so good on a red carpet, and he has the same stylist as Pedro, actually. So 2
birds, 1 stone. Hello?
Yeah.
But you know who did go was Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he did.
And he presented with Florence. Oh, my God.
They look great together. Oh, my God.
Don't they?
Yes, they do.
Have they ever acted in anything together?
No, but everyone on TikTok is like, well, clearly at some point they have to.
It's so good.
Which I agree.
I feel like that chemistry would be off the charts. Truly.
I think that both of them, though, like, I want to see them in a rom-com, but knowing both of them, it's going to be some, like, psychological thriller, and you're like, I just kind of want to see you guys gallivant and have a good time.
Yeah. Okay. I see that.
Movie that Pedro Pascal's doing with Ethan Hawke. It's a short movie.
No.
And they're gay lovers.
Yeah.
It's a short movie?
Yeah. They didn't say it was like a full-length movie, right? It said it was just like a...
I literally just saw it right before we got on here.
Okay.
I was like, he's always playing a cowboy, now he's going to play a gay cowboy.
Listen, gay cowboys do very well in the box office.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You really do get the best of both worlds at that point in time. All right? You get the Wranglers.
You get the tight jeans. You get the hat.
You get the hat. You know, you get the accent. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of Southern accents, but at the same time, it's like, well, if Pedro's doing it, I could get behind it. You know? I want to talk about Charlie, because I feel like Charlie is like not your true love, but you talk about Daredevil a lot, right? Like, we're super excited about the next like era that Daredevil is going into. Mm-hmm. But I want to know about where this whole thing with Charlie started. Because was Charlie the first one you put up on your fridge?
Yeah, Charlie was the first one I put up on my fridge. But that's because I used to have a P.O. box, and then I don't have it anymore. But someone, I think I bought something from like a shop, like an MCU, like local, her name is Molly, and I bought a couple shirts, and she just sent me the picture. And then I just put it up on my fridge because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't realize how much people like noticed it. And they were like, oh, it's so funny that he's in the background. And I was like, oh. And then I just kind of went along with the bit and got all these other, you know, I got Joe and I got Andrew, and I need to get Pedro.
But I love what you did with Pedro because you drew him.
Oh, yeah. I did that with John Bernthal too, because when I was talking about Daredevil, obviously I went into The Punisher, and it was the same thing where people like put Frank Castle on your fridge, but I was like, I'm not buying one picture of this one guy. The whole bit started with just like a joke of someone sending it to me. So I was like, oh, I'll draw John Bernthal. And I have that drawing too, so I was like, I'll just do it with Pedro Pascal, because everyone was like, oh, he's so easy to draw because he's like a square basically. So then that's just what I did.
I have not watched The Punisher.
It's a lot. So is Daredevil too, but it's I would say it's a lot more than, and you got to watch Daredevil to kind of get Punisher if you don't really know about Frank Castle. But John Bernthal is absolutely aces.
He's so amazing. He was in. I watched him recently in American Gigolo. Is that the show? I think it was American Gigolo on Stars. And let me tell you, what a 10 out of 10 fucking performance.
Ooh. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is he the Gigolo?
Yes, he is.
Oh my.
Yes, he is. And it is a remake from the 80s, and the original American Gigolo was played by none other than Richard Gere. So
really,
let that sink in. Yeah, it was great. Wow. It was great.
I knew John from The Walking Dead, obviously. So I kind of like
in The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, first season, Mama.
You haven't seen him on TikTok where stop acting like you know the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what side of TikTok she's on, but it's the wrong. I'm just kidding.
Right now I'm on Shadow and Bone TikTok. I'm about to.
Oh, me too. I've never seen that, but I've got a hard stance on Ben Barnes.
So basically, in Walking Dead, Rick is in a coma. So he takes his wife and his kid to safety, but they start having an affair because the wife thinks that Rick is dead. But Rick comes back, and it complicates the relationship, and he starts getting all crazy. John's character.
No, I've not seen any of them. I watched the first episode of The Walking Dead, and I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I tried really hard, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I went to like almost the last season. So I watched a lot of Walking Dead.
Since the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
What made you stop?
I think because I was just pulling away from it, and it was coming to an end anyway because they're going to do spinoffs. And then they had the other Walking Dead show. Like, it was Fear of the Walking Dead. And so I didn't watch that one because I was like, this is too much Walking Dead for me. But I think they're going to do like a Rick and Michonne spinoff because at one point Rick disappears and Michonne goes to go find him.
Right.
So I think that's what they're going to talk about in that series. But anyways, we're not talking about that.
No, that's okay.
The last thing I saw him in was The Bear.
The Bear.
It's really good.
The Bear.
Yeah.
We need to do an episode on the guy. What's his name? Jeremy.
Lip.
What?
No, I think you're right. I think it's Jeremy something.
Are you talking about Jeremy Renner?
No.
You're like, no.
I know Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Allen White.
Thank you.
Allen White. Because there's something about him, and it's so funny. Before, when he was in Shameless, I had literally described him as the hotline cook. That wasn't actually attractive, but had that like sexy personality. And then like 3 years later, he showed up on this fucking show, and I was like, I fucking told you. I'm sorry.
Time in our chat, I was like, who is Jeremy Allen White? And then I look it up, and then I was like, he looks like Willy Wonka, and she was like, I don't like this comparison. Remember, Laura? I said he looked like Gene Wilder, and you were like, well, he's not cute, so I don't know what you're talking about.
How dare you, Gene Wilder? I love Gene Wilder.
Let it sink in though, because like that comparison in my mind, I was like, absolutely not. There's no way. And then I kind of let it sit, and I was like,
but would you rather have Timothée Chalamet play
Willy Wonka?
Play Willy Wonka over him? Because he's like spitting image of Gene Wilder, in my opinion. But
I think that I would agree if we're doing a Willy Wonka true to the original one, I would want it to be Jeremy Allen White. But I think that since Johnny Depp has played Willy Wonka, it has kind of switched around what, Willy Wonka was. you know.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet is gonna bring like a sense of whimsy like Johnny Depp kind of brought.
What do you think about Timothy Chalamet, Cole?
I don't know how I feel about it. I think he's a fine actor, but
I agree.
Nothing he's really been in has really got my goat with anything. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, he's okay. He's clearly talented, but I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see Dune though, so
he was good in Dune.
I heard he was great in Dune. I wanted to say that the vibe I get from him is like, oh God. And first of all, if you like Timothy Chalamet, please don't hate me. Okay? I think he's great. I do. I think he's a very talented actor. But he gives me like young Leo DiCaprio vibes. Like his career might go in that direction of like extremely talented, will always make good movies, super fucking pretentious. And once he gets to 50, will not date anybody past the age of 26. That is the vibe I get from Timothy Chalamet.
That's the vibe I get too.
Yeah.
I guess someone was like, yeah, he went to NYU. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. He looks like he went to NYU.
He just looks like he's still like 16, but he's like, what, 27 or something like that? But I bet you if he once he's like 35, I'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but men go through puberty twice. I've said this. I started making a video today about Ben Barnes and how he might be my new hyperfixation along with Callahan Skogman from Shadow and Bone. And the fact that like he went from like the most beautiful Prince Caspian and Dorian Gray to the sexiest General Kerrigan, like Cole, you've got to see it because I know that you're gonna start making videos about this the second.
So Ben Barnes is in The Punisher.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes he.
And I have a hard stance on Ben Barnes.
I have seen The Punisher. I've seen the first season. Okay, what's your stance on Ben Barnes? Tell me.
I inherently don't trust men that pretty and that talented. So I just have like this running gag on my TikTok that I have this this hatred for Ben Barnes, which isn't true. I think that he's probably really nice. And then people keep tagging me. Yeah, it's time for me to go. No, I think that he's actually a talented guy, and it's just a bit that I have. But and then I keep getting tagged in, like, when I was watching The Punisher, I was like, he can sing, he can act really well, he's absolutely gorgeous. And I was like, I don't trust men that talented and pretty unless they're doing, like, I don't know, insider trading or something like that. He's something wrong with them. But then I just keep getting tagged. Did you see him somewhere in LA doing Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer?
Oh my God, yes.
I just kept getting tagged in that video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was great.
I don't disagree with that. I definitely think that if you're that pretty and that talented, some shoe is bound to drop at some point. You know who I felt that way about? And I'm going to knock on wood so many times, but I was a massive Ezra Miller fan.
So was I.
Oh. And listen, they are extremely talented. You cannot take the talent away. But just as they were talented, they were not nice.
Yeah.
But I have gone down the rabbit hole of watching these interviews with Ben Barnes and like Jesse May Lee and all of the cast from Shadow and Bone. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, he really is perfect. Wow. And he, when's it gonna happen? I'm like, please don't get canceled.
But he's been around for a long time. I would have thought that would have happened a long time ago, but I don't. Well, knock on wood, I don't know.
So many people have been around for a long time, and they're just now getting, like.
I want to make a comparison with Ben Barnes. It kind of reminds me of when Josh Hartnett came back for Penny Dreadful.
Yes.
It's like this, like, because Josh Hartnett was always like a heartthrob, but there was something about him like taking that hiatus and then coming back.
He like leveled up.
Yeah.
He
grew a beard.
It was
and
like he went through puberty.
Just,
like the late 30s second puberty men go through. Look at Chris Evans. He's been adopted as like Chris Jamal Evans. I have seen so many videos of like black people just adopting Chris Evans because he's got this like, they're like, yep, we'll take Chris. You can take Kanye.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But Chris Evans was always good looking. Have you seen, I don't mean to pivot away, but I want to talk about Andrew. Have you seen this play Andrew was in where he played a gay man and it was like a 4-hour long play? Have you heard anything about it or seen it?
Yeah, I actually watched Angels in America.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched it, and I've seen it. It was very, very devastating, and I thought I was getting into, because that video went around of like all of like his funny bits in it, and I thought I was just getting into like kind of a gay Andrew Garfield, and then it was like super sad. I was like, oh my god. And he did great, obviously, because he's a phenomenal actor, and then I'm crying. He's like dying of AIDS, and I was like, oh my god, spoiler. But
we'll do a spoiler alert at the beginning here. We usually do a spoiler alert whenever we talk about some of these movies.
Well, that was kind of the same thing with Joseph Quinn and Mosquitoes, too.
Yeah.
I just saw, like, only the funny bits, and I watched it, and I was like, this is devastating. This is not what I signed up for.
Right. That was a lot. But it was extremely long, too.
Yeah.
But I only saw little bits and pieces of it, and our friend Erin had watched it, and she had mentioned how long it was and how actually depressing it was, and, like, the whole thing. So, I don't know. Is he coming up on anything else? Andrew Garfield? Yeah. I don't think so.
I thought I was looking him up the other day and there was something he was doing. Oh, he's going to be with Oscar Isaac in Frankenstein. He's going to be the monster.
Oscar Isaac is going to be the monster?
No, Oscar Isaac I think is going to be Frankenstein.
Oh.
And Andrew Garfield's going to be the monster.
Wait,
I think.
It's with Mia Goth. Are you familiar with Mia Goth? Cole?
What? No. What's she in?
Mia Goth plays Pearl. She's in the movie X. She's like the new it girl of horror movies.
I know who you're talking about. I didn't know that was her name, but I do know who she is.
And I think maybe like once we get to season 3, we should probably do an episode on her. She is so incredibly talented, but she's got this like tiny, tiny voice. And the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. I'm so sorry. We completely went on like a very natural tangent, which is great. It's been very organic. Shannon, you had your little...
Oh, I love a game.
I know. Tell us about the game.
It's going to be very simple. Just going to be like semi-rapid fire if we need to pause and, talk about the person. I tried to pick men that aren't traditionally hot. So like Chris Evans, Jason Momoa, Chris Hemsworth, people like that. They're not on this list. So, are we ready?
Yes.
So I'm just going to say a name, and you say hot or not. Okay. First one, Steve Carell.
Which Steve Carell?
Whatever one you want. You can explain.
I would like older Steve Carell from The Morning Show.
Okay, yes. I was going to say, if you go like 2000 and... Actually, Steve Carell in the second half of Crazy Stupid Love up until now.
Yeah.
He had like a third puberty, I think.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see him in Sleepover, where he was the cop? He had a little mustache.
Oh my God.
Did you not remember he was in that?
I did not remember that was him.
He was the mall cop, or no, the like patrol for hire guy in the tiny green car.
Wow. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, he was.
Oh my God. I love that mustache on him.
It's amazing.
Steve Carell in Space Force, though. I will.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Jack Black.
Hot.
Not. I can't.
Did you see The Holiday?
Yeah. I questioned a lot of things about The Holiday. I love The Holiday, don't get me wrong, but I was like, that's fine. There's an ass for every seat. There's an ass for every chair.
If you go back a little further, early in the 90s, like early in his career, Jack is like really cute.
I liked him in School of Rock too, but I think it was his confidence.
Yeah. I'm just a little chubby, man. I like to eat.
Yeah.
I love a dad bod as much as the next person, but there's just something about him that I will find insufferable long term.
I can see that. I can truly see that.
Yeah.
It's a very specific person.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Adam Driver.
Hot.
Okay.
What? He has a size 9 pinky.
Whoa.
A size 9 pinky.
My ring finger is a 7.
Listen, this is a size 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Game over. Goodbye. That's all. That's all. Thank you.
I don't know. I've just seen so much of him on TikTok. Is he not like objectively hot?
I don't think so. Not face-wise.
There's still some people that go like, I don't understand what you guys see in him, but
I remember seeing him in Girls and thinking to myself, this is the least attractive man in Hollywood. And then I saw him without a shirt on and I was like, oh, I get it. I get why they casted him in this.
See, for me in Girls, but that was another personality thing. He calls her kid all the time and is just like not an asshole. And I was like, oh, Yeah, I like him a lot.
Oh yeah, no, his personality was amazing in Girls.
Yeah.
100%. But he's just like naturally like a very in shape person too. Like he's just got this build.
He was a Marine.
Fucking real.
Yeah, he was in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows.
I think it's just the ears for me, you know. He keeps them covered now. He's got these little like
Oh yeah, he's got some big ears.
That season 1 bowl cut, you know?
Yeah, that wasn't it.
No, they did right by him by season 4. I was very proud of the direction they took with his haircut.
I love him with long hair. It's so nice.
Yeah.
We talked about him already, but Timothée Chalamet.
Hot.
That was like a hesitant hot. I'm just kidding.
You said not? You said not?
I said not.
Oh,
He's
my bad.
very pointy. He's a pointy guy.
Did you say that? You've said that before, right?
Yeah, I've said that before.
Okay. I've heard this. I'm gonna say hot for now.
You're gonna change it later in the episode?
Yeah, because hot for now. Check in with me in the next 15 years.
Oh.
All right. If it becomes Leonardo DiCaprio part 2. Okay, next one is Mark Ruffalo.
Hot.
Cool.
Yeah. There's something so great about, I don't know, how smart he is in Avengers and like clever.
Yeah. He seems like a sweetheart. And then always him in 13 going on 30 too, where he's playing Matt. Oh my God.
Oh, I haven't seen that in so long.
Fun fact, I actually did not like him in 13 going on 30.
Well, now it's your time to leave. You can't stay here anymore.
Okay, but like, hear me out, because I had no idea who. So going back and watching it, I'm like, oh my God, it's Mark Ruffalo. I love him so much. But it's like that first time seeing somebody and you're like, oh, there's some guy that's like not that impressive, you know? And I was a kid when I was watching it. So, and then as an adult, now I'm like, oh, there's Mark Ruffalo. I know, you know?
Well, he's supposed to be a little unsuspecting, right? Because you're like, oh yeah, you just kind of, she's dating like the hot hockey player. And you're like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh, I hate that guy.
I hate that guy so much. He always freaked me out. He always freaked me out.
The little laugh, like,
He does that weird dance in his whitey tighties, and I was like, nope.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Tom Hiddleston.
Hot.
Uh-oh.
That's okay, Cole. Just say it.
No, it's fine. You won't hurt our feelings.
No, it's not a not. It depends on who he plays. Because if I just see a picture of him, I'm like, oh, okay. But like him as like Loki, I'm like 100%. And I might just be Loki.
Okay.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak.
Peak.
Is that the one where he's the priest?
No.
What? Oh, what did you say to me? He plays a priest?
Yeah. Oh, damn. He plays the priest in something.
He's a Guillermo del Toro movie, The Crimson Peak. And that one, he is like this gorgeous, like, oh my God.
Pale porcelain with black hair kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
I saw...
It's with Jessica Chastain.
Was he in King Kong or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yes!
He looked hot in that movie.
He did.
It's the thing is, Cole's saying similar things that I was saying, because it just depends.
The Essex Serpent is where he plays a priest. I watched a little bit of it.
I will be watching that.
It's on Apple TV.
I will be watching that because... Is it with Claire Danes, too?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
I just had it pulled up.
I'm watching it tonight.
Very good, very good.
Oh, it's a miniseries. Never mind.
Well, you can get started.
6 episodes.
Not to put back on Adam Driver, but
You're welcome.
I'm like slowly watching his movies until we talk about him on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Of Adam Driver, so when we talk about him, I'm like, I'm prepared.
Who is next?
Matt Smith.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say not. That's a no for me. God bless him. He seems like a nice guy, I guess.
Matt Smith is a... Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm gonna say hot just because of the way he looks at you. Like, the look in his eyes, like the little mischievousness in his eyes.
Sure.
Oh, could get me to do anything, truly.
His body was great in Morpheus. I think that was the main thing for me. I was just like, he was
100%.
ripped.
100%. I also very much like him in a silvery blonde wig.
It's a lovely Targaryen.
Who's next? I love this game. Let's play this game all the time.
Heck yeah.
I like this game too.
Is Ewan McGregor.
Hot.
No.
That was a really fast no. Do tell.
Ewan McGregor? You're lying.
I'm dead ass. I'm so serious. Okay. To me. Ewan McGregor has the most punchable face in Hollywood. I can't stand him.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Ewan is a beloved treasure.
What did you watch him in where you decided that was the case?
I actually can tell you exactly the movie I watched him in.
Because if you saw Trainspotting and you thought that, I can believe that.
I watched that, and I watched the one with Renee Zellweger. I have seen Trainspotting, and I watched it only after I decided I didn't like him, and it confirmed what I already knew about him. But yes, it was called Down with Love.
Oh, wait a minute. I love that movie. That was when you were like, that's not it?
I did not like him there. I didn't like him in Philip Morris.
Okay.
Now, I did like I Love You, Philip Morris. There's something about him that to me is just not appealing at all.
What about him in Star Wars? Did you watch Star Wars?
I do like him in Star Wars. I like the long hair and the beard.
Hello there.
No, that wasn't him. That was actually
it was.
Liam.
He played Obi-Wan
Hello
Kenobi.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I when I said long hair and beard, I was thinking the really long hair, and then I realized I was talking about Liam Neeson.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Liam Neeson, yeah. I really liked him in Moulin Rouge. That movie made me cry like 4 times. He was so sweet in that.
Yeah.
If anything gets me with him, it's his teeth, but it's fine. It's not a trade-off.
I'm gonna digress from this because I feel like I'm gonna get death threats after this episode. I know he is a beloved character and a beloved actor, especially in the Star Wars universe, but I am not going to lie.
My first introduction to him, like ever in my life, was Star Wars. So I always know him as like the longer hair, bearded.
I tried to watch that Winnie the Pooh live action with him, and we got 10 minutes in, and me and my boyfriend were crying. I'm like, I can't do this. 10 minutes in, and he's bawling, I'm bawling, and we're like, turn it off.
You're like, maybe not.
Can't. Too sad. Okay. Well, maybe this will be a redemption for Laura. Harrison Ford.
Hot
at any point in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Hot.
100%.
Are you kidding me? Did you watch Morning Glory with Rachel McAdams?
No.
He was the anchor. He was a news anchor. She was a producer.
I've heard of it. I've seen like trailers, but no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like a
Figured
like a
hopefully because of the title.
movie. Oh my gosh. It was so good. But I remember seeing him there and I was like, oh, am I attracted to this? I think I like this. And then, oh man. Have you seen Working Girl?
Oh yeah. Phenomenal. Absolutely amazing.
I'm like him in Working Girl. If I had seen that when I was younger, it would have been my sexual awakening, truly. He was stunning. Perfect.
And like an asshole, and you're like, yeah, that's what I want out of you. He plays an asshole so well.
Yeah. It's so good. Who's next?
Shannon's like, I don't know about all this. Wait, I wanted to why aren't you playing?
Yeah, why aren't you answering?
Because clearly Harrison Ford did not do it for you.
No, even back then, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not attracted to him. Ewan McGregor, he's cute. Matt Smith, nice body. Tom Hiddleston, oh yes, baby. Mark Ruffalo, Teddy Bear, lovable. Timothy Chalamet, no. Adam Driver, oh yeah. Jack Black, yes. Steve Carell, maybe now. Yeah.
Maybe now.
There we go. Sorry.
What is it that we have said about, oh God, Cole, you're going to love this. Can you talk about what you've said before about Alexander Skarsgård?
It's a weird Shannon thing. I was semi-seeing a guy that gave me this vibe. So then when I look at Alexander Skarsgård, I'm getting the same vibe. I think he looks like he has a stinky upper lip. Like when you kiss him and you just like smell it and you're like, oh, like, I don't know. There's something about it that I can't.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Do you, or are you just being nice? Because everyone else is going like, I don't know what the fuck you mean. Danielle hates it. Dan's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my God, never mind. It's like a certain set of lips. You look at him and you're like, it's you.
Yeah.
His brother don't have that. Bill Skarsgård, no, don't have that.
Yeah. Really? Because I watched the new John Wick this past weekend. And by the way, incredible fucking movie. If you haven't seen the new John Wick, amazing. But the whole time I was watching it and Bill Skarsgård was in it, all I could think about was Shannon. And I was like, does he look like he has a stinky upper?
It's not him. It's just Alexander.
Is it limited to just Alexander, or is it applicable to all Skarsgård
Bill has
brothers?
these beautifully exfoliated lips that just...
Yeah, but then when he smiles, his entire, like...
He does that Pennywise smile?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think anything of Bill Skarsgård until I saw Devil All the Time, or whatever it's called. It's got Tom Holland and Sebastian Stan in it. Bill Skarsgård. And yeah, it's really, really good. But he's like the dad, like in the past. And I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to watch Hemlock Grove because it seems like it's up my alley and he's in it, but I somehow can't get myself to like stay in it to watch it, but or like vibe to it. But for some reason, I can't like get sucked in. I don't know.
Is that a Hulu series?
I think so.
Yeah, I tried to get into that and I couldn't get into it. But The Devil All the Time, I watched it and I remember thinking it was absolutely fucking bonkers, but it was with Robert Pattinson. And I remember thinking Robert Pattinson's performance in that movie was honestly, I think, some of his best work that he has ever done.
It truly shifted my opinion of Robert Pattinson. Not that I didn't like him on like Twilight or any of the other stuff that he did, but there I was like, oh, he's crazy and he's doing it so well. He was so good in that.
I don't think anybody has fought harder to change his image than Robert Pattinson after Twilight. Or Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah, Kristen Stewart too, yeah.
Yeah. Who's next, Shannon?
Jason Sudeikis.
Hot.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, well, that was easy.
We need no explanation for that.
This list was longer, so I had to peel it back a little bit.
Can you think of like two that you got rid of?
Yes. I think his name is Jay Baruchel.
Hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know who that is. Yep. Hot.
There was something about him, I don't know, the nerdy voice, but I don't know. I just like, and then you're watching How to Train a Dragon, you're just hearing him and you're like, this is just as good. This is just as good.
Yeah, he's great.
And no, this is the end. He's always playing like the confused, sweet, nerdy guy, you know? I don't know. I like it.
What about Seth Rogen?
Yeah, hot.
Yeah, I'd say hot.
Hot now.
He's blossomed.
Yeah.
I liked him in Knocked Up. I felt like he reminded me of like some of my friends. And sometimes even if they're chubby with froze, I would still be like, why are you single? Like there's some like guys that are really cool and I'm like, why are you single? And then you like wait a little longer, you're like, oh, that's why. It's like they're very like good guys with a lot of great qualities, but there's just one little thing and you're like, that's why.
That's why.
Next one is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Not.
I know he's objectively good looking, but for me.
Wait, he's the guy with the bat in Walking Dead, right? Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. Next.
Tom Hardy. What do you mean I'm not hot?
No. I thought he used to be. But there's something about him now that I just can't get behind. I don't know what it is.
Isn't he missing a tooth?
Maybe that's what it is.
He just won like a wrestling, like world wrestling championship or something wild like that.
Holy crap. I didn't even know he was doing that.
He's a wild dude.
Yeah. He's extremely talented. I will give him that. Based off talent, hot.
I love how he's like, I don't know why everyone keeps saying that I'm like super masculine. And then you're just like.
He just won a giant fighting award.
Matthew Lillard.
Oh, hot. That's a new thing too.
Matthew Lillard?
I said hot, but again, that's a newer thing, and I think it has to do with TikTok.
Who is he?
He was Shaggy in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah. No.
And he was in Scream, right, Shannon?
Mm-hmm. I would say look him up in 13 Ghosts.
I've seen him there, and I'm
more of a Skeet Ulrich kind of girl myself, but...
Oh, sure. I get what you're saying.
That guy.
Laura said no, and I was just like... I already knew her answer on Skeet Ulrich, so I didn't include him. John Krasinski.
Hot.
And last but not least, this is a Walking Dead reference, Stephen Yeun.
I'm going to say...
I'm going to have to Google him real quick.
He played Glenn, right? I'm going to say hot. I'll find you!
Oh, hot.
I met him almost 10 years ago at a con.
Really?
Yeah.
For The Walking Dead?
So cute. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Is he like the sweetest person ever?
Oh my God, he's so nice. Okay, so let's do the last couple because I wanted to ask her about people that we've talked about on the podcast. Penn Badgley.
Hot.
Okay.
Great.
Paul Rudd.
Hot.
Great.
Well, we talked about Cillian Murphy. Hot.
Hot. That's a recent development for me, though.
Yeah. And we actually talked about a woman on this season, Florence Pugh.
Hot.
Thank you.
Did I pass?
You passed. You can come back.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I say one thing about Pedro Pascal real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, you can't just say that while picking. Oh my goodness.
Sorry. This is my roommate's dog. I didn't know, and I didn't know this about Joseph Quinn either, but Joseph Quinn was a little bit of a smaller role within Game of Thrones. But I remember that entire fight with the mountain in Game of Thrones, but I don't remember Pedro Pascal being in Game of Thrones.
I remember Pedro Pascal being in Game of Thrones because I remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is the best possible guy they could have cast for this role. And I love the fact that he was like Latino. And I was like, yes! Or like when he showed up to like Tyrion and he said, I will be your champion. And Tyrion was like about to cry because he knew he wasn't going to be able to take the mountain with his little tiny self. Like,
yeah.
God.
I couldn't believe that. And he was like, yeah, I was in Game of Thrones. And I was like, damn, they just keep popping up. And so was Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. Oh my gosh. She was such a badass in that movie.
Yeah.
In the show, not movie.
I just couldn't believe it.
I loved her in there. I have not seen The Last of Us because I wanted to be able to binge it completely.
You not seen any of it?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Buckle up.
And I hear shit hits the fan on the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to finish Shadow and Bone this week, and then I'm probably going to watch The Last of Us. So, but it's hard. It's hard because there's so many spoilers on TikTok, and you just got to like scroll. I would love to move on to a segment where we get to dreamcast all of these guys.
Okay.
Who you would like to see. I'm going to start naming them off, and you tell me what kind of role you'd like to see them play. And if you'd like to maybe see them play like a role together, maybe a genre, whatever it is, okay?
Okay.
So I want to start with Charlie. Who would you like to see him play next?
I would like for him to maybe get away from the kind of more serious things. I've seen him, he has this short on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called, but this is way, way back in the day. But he does really well with like, it's a lot of comedy. And I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like Charlie Max and the Prostitute or something like that. But it's like, he's got great comedic timing. And I'm just like, I don't think we utilize, and you see it sometimes in Daredevil, but it's not utilized as much. If he did like almost like a Odd Couple, like playing the straight man off of someone else kind of thing, that would be kind of cool to watch. Because God bless him, that show that he just had come out on Netflix.
Are you talking about Treason?
Treason, thank you. It was just like, not good, but obviously he did great, but it's also like one of those things that you are very aware that's based on a book. Like the pacing's kind of weird and the story's not quite there for just like a shorter collection of like this story. I'm just like, I think we kind of have to get away from that just a smidge. But that's what I
remember seeing him in Casanova and thinking to myself, because didn't he, like, spoiler alert, at the end of Casanova, he like became Casanova? Because like Casanova ended up being like an idea, and so like Heath Ledger like passed that on to him. That was the first time I ever saw him.
Was it? Well, even him in Stardust, I thought was really, he's really funny in that too, but he's supposed to be like the scrawny guy that has his she's all that moment halfway through with Robert De Niro.
Tristan Thorne.
Speaking of Ben Barnes, that's his dad.
Who is?
Ben Barnes plays his dad.
Oh!
Yeah, they all run in that same circle. They really do.
Huh. You were not wrong. Wow. Incredible. I fucking love Ben Barnes. I can't say enough about him right now. But anyways, I did like seeing him in period pieces too, though. I feel like, though, I love seeing any British fan in a fucking period piece.
Truly. My bread and butter. Charlie Cox he's in another like spy thing with Andrew Scott, the hot priest. And that felt like, that's like a BBC thing where it's a little bit more campy of what I wanted Treason to be. And Andrew Scott's like this Russian spy in like the 70s or 80s. It's the goofiest thing I've ever seen. But it's so good.
I don't think I've heard of this. Is it Legacy, The Ordained?
Legacy, I'm pretty sure. If you read me that description, I'm pretty sure I'll know.
It says, set in the 1970s.
With the Cold War, yep.
London during the Cold War, when a young spy discovers the disturbing truth about his father's complex past.
Yeah. And Andrew Scott's there, and I cannot tell if he's supposed to be like, I don't know, his Russian accent isn't quite there, that I don't know if it's a joke. Because he's a great actor, but I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Is it just a bad accent?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what's crazy? Andrew Scott has been in so many... Can you hear my dog? I'm sorry. Has been in so many things.
He really
He was in the movie Frankenstein with James
McAvoy.
Oh my god, McAvoy, yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
And Daniel Radcliffe. Sorry, tangent. I apologize. Andrew Garfield. What do we see him in next? Dreamcast him. Tell me what you see for him.
Oh, you know what? I actually made a video about this a long time ago, and I don't know why I thought this at the time. If they ever remade It's a Wonderful Life, him playing... Shit, what the hell's his name? Something Daly?
His name is Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart's character. Something Oh, no, it's Bailey. Something Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Because he plays... Also, Andrew Garfield has looked the same forever. And in that whole movie, they go from the time he's like in high school all the way till, I don't know, 35, 36.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be good.
George Bailey.
George Bailey.
Oh my god. I love that scene where he says, do you want the mood?
Yeah. Could you imagine Andrew Garfield doing that? Yep.
He would be so good in that.
That was like one of the first videos I made on TikTok. I was like, you know what he should play? George Bailey.
I feel like I've seen this video. I've seen this video when you made it. Because, great call. Let's see. Pedrito. Who do we see for Pedrito?
I want him in a rom-com so bad. I saw someone today that was just like, have him be like a divorced Chilean dad going back to Chile to like take care of like his like sick mom and like...
Or his abuelita.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay, how rom-com do you want to go? Do you want to go like rom-com like with a good storyline, or do you want to go like Hallmark level, like, or teetering on the Hallmark line?
I would kind of teetering on Hallmark. I think that would be way more fun to watch.
Yeah.
What if he goes back to Chile and then he sees Salma Hayek just walking down the beach and he's like,
there you go. But I'm a sucker for like an enemies to lovers, just like a grumpy, like pissed off dad or something like that. I would love that.
Okay.
Or like a professor.
I like the professor.
Yeah.
Pedro the grumpy professor.
Yeah.
But then like, I don't know, then maybe he gets with the librarian. Once you start getting to like student stuff, then I'm like, ooh, I don't know about all that.
Who would play his like opposite?
I don't know. Can I say Sarah Paulson? I like their chemistry together, but they're like buddies.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they did that SNL skit, so that's the thing that's like really fresh in my mind. She would never go for a rom-com like that, though. Mm-mm. Sandra Bullock?
I was thinking Sandra Bullock would be great. I don't really see him as like a Jennifer Aniston.
No.
It just doesn't. Sandra Bullock, maybe. I don't want J-Lo to get anywhere near him. I don't know. It just doesn't like.
I'm trying to think of like actresses more kind of his age.
Lucy Liu.
There you go. I can get behind that. Hell yeah, Lucy Liu.
Isn't that so random?
It's good though.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Sign it up. Casting director Chole Miller. Let's go.
Well, that was all you. Well, I'll tell you what I just kept thinking. I just kept thinking Meryl Streep for some reason. It was just the only thing that kept popping up in my head.
Why not?
I mean, sure.
Wait.
But I'm trying to think of the story behind
She's
that.
in her 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I know. That would be great.
I just don't know what that story would be. She's the dean of the school.
Have you seen It's Complicated, Shannon?
Is that either the one with Natalie Portman and the other one, or it's the other one with Mila Kunis and fucking Justin Timberlake?
No, this has Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin in it, right?
Alec Baldwin in it. And it's like a rom-com with an older...
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was getting that confused.
I was thinking, now that you said Meryl Streep, it'd be cool to see him in something kind of like It's Complicated.
It's a love-hate.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's a little bit of history, but they have to, like, kind of rekindle their relationship, and they have, like, kids, and the kids go through their stuff. So a little bit of It's Complicated, a little bit of crazy, stupid love, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah. I could see them. Maybe. Jessica Chastain.
There you go.
Wow. Oh, that's hot. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that.
Oscar Isaac be like, nope. Just kidding.
I think not. Dude, that was a crazy ride. The Marriage Story. Holy hell.
Was that? I haven't seen it.
That's another thing that's like, I think it's a play that they like just like filmed basically. Well, not filmed like the actual stage production, but the like script and the material is like a stage production, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of talking and a lot of intense. Obviously, it's like this horrible marriage and all this other shit. But I was like, damn, this is a lot.
Give me like your dream casting for John Bernthal. Bernthal?
Bernthal? John Bernthal?
That name. Tell me more.
I don't know. Almost like kind of like a Last of Us thing. I think he does really well of like playing almost like a dad and an older brother. Seeing him and do that is kind of interesting to do. Because he doesn't look like he would be like a very fatherly, caring, soft person. So that's cool to see that dynamic kind of change.
I was thinking I'd like to see him in a horror movie.
Oh, there you go.
Like an A24 type movie, you know? kind of like Hereditary. I don't know. I'm on a horror movie kick. Like I do this thing whenever I go home to visit my parents where like my mother and I will just sit and watch back-to-back horror movies. And this past weekend we watched 3 back-to-back horror movies like without stopping.
Holy cow.
I tell you what, the most terrifying horror movies come from Spain. Anyways, I digress.
Don't watch a Serbian film.
Are those crazy too?
No, I will not. I will not watch that.
I refuse to watch it.
I will not watch that. I will not be watching that. I know exactly what that is.
Wasn't there like a Would You Rather?
There was a Would You Rather.
That's what she got her drink for.
Yeah, then we came back and I
Now
was like,
you
oh wait.
wasted her drink.
Oh my god. Okay, all right, okay.
Oh no, it's still here.
Okay, good.
I'm ready.
Would you rather have either Charlie or Andrew look you dead in the eye, standing right in front of you, saying, "Hello, darling," or never see them in person?
Oh, jeez.
And the reason why I want to ask this question is because there are those people that just would not be able to handle being in front of their celebrity crushes, right?
Yeah, here's my thing about, I wouldn't mind like, it's such a weird dynamic. The con thing that I think is a very good opportunity for people that obviously get a lot out of that. I would just be such a crazy mess in front of those people in that setting. If I was just like in real life, like ran into them and was like, oh, hi, and then they said that, I'd be fine. It's like, there's something about the dynamic of those cons that sometimes really freaks me out.
You know, I felt the same way about that, where it was like so fast paced.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost like when it's your turn, it's like you're being presented to them and they're just like, I'm ready for you. Present to me now. And you're just like,
yeah.
Well, and so like you're rehearsing everything you want to say to them, right? Because you've created this. Like, let's take you, for example, right? You've created a small platform for yourself off of these people, and you're like, what do I say to them? Mm-hmm. And then you have maybe about 20 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
And that's being generous.
And I always thought that, like, when I started getting a lot more followers, I was like, if I ever met them, what the hell am I going to say? And then I felt like I would be a burden to them in some way, but like whenever I've been recognized, and that is one of the coolest feelings to have, that I imagine that each time someone comes up to you, you don't really lose that like edge to someone saying they like your stuff. So the more that I kind of interact with it, I'm like, yeah, okay. But again, the fan dynamic of just being like, hi, this is kind of like XYZ, not that they don't care, but they got to see other people and do other things. Like on the street, if they said that, I would be completely fine with that.
That was really surreal at the con. Like, I'd literally be standing there, like, staring off into space like I do, and then all of a sudden I make eye contact with somebody, and they go, and then I'm like, what did I do? What'd I say? What? And then I'm like, oh, they recognize me.
It's a surreal feeling when you're like, oh, you know who I am. And that's obviously something that you don't really know when you're like, oh my God, hi.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
The only thing I can compare it to is whenever you're out and about and somebody says hi to you, my anxiety kicks in and I'm like, I need to pretend to know who they are because I have no idea who this person standing in front of me is. But they clearly know who I am. And then my incredible severe anxiety kicks in and I'm like, what am I going to say?
I was asking for a lot of TikTok handles. They're like, I'm Bubble and I was like, what's your handle? Because a lot of the time their pictures are of Joe or not them. And I'm just like, I don't know who you are.
The first time I got recognized was at Lollapalooza. Mm-hmm. And I was high as hell. And then I'm with my friends and someone was like, this person keeps staring at you. And I was like, no, I don't think that's true. And then like the show had ended because we were watching a show. And she comes up to me and she's like, are you Cole? And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And then we talked for a little while and it was a really cool experience. But my friends were like, get the fuck out of here. They don't know who you are. And I was like, I think she does, but I don't know.
Just failed to mention you have a following on TikTok and she's one of them.
So this was at the last Lollapalooza in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
The one where Joe was at?
The one that I didn't get there till the next day after Metallica was already gone.
Oh, we talked about that.
Oh my God.
I was devastated.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we all had to get off work and then we got to an Airbnb kind of close to Chicago. So I watched that entire like set on like streaming live and I was like, I swear to God, if they bring Joseph Quinn out here and I'm like 100 miles away, I'm gonna lose my mind. And then they didn't, so I was like, okay, still would have been really sick. But
just before we started chatting, Danielle and Laura both stayed up that night to like see if Joe was gonna show up.
I'm pretty sure we met Shannon the day after that because
really?
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I I the whole time I was fucking exhausted. I'd had the longest day of my life, and me and Danielle are like texting each other, so fucking convinced that he was gonna come out. And you know, Metallica has like 8-minute long songs.
Oh sure.
So we're like, surely this is the next song.
They're just all merged together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then people kept messaging me on TikTok, and they're like, you know, he's walking around Chicago. We heard you're going. And I was like, I'm not going to be there that day. Be so mad. But then he wasn't there.
If you had to pick one of the guys to go to the movies with, would you rather go with Pedro or Charlie on a movie date with?
On a movie date.
It can be friendly or romantic, whatever.
Okay. Can I ask what we're seeing? That'll dictate.
A horror movie.
A horror movie.
Yeah. A Guillermo del Toro movie.
I think I'm going to take Pedro. I think I'll take Pedro.
I agree.
Right? What a good choice. If you could have one singular conversation with Charlie or Andrew and it's like career advice, who would it be from?
Oh, career advice?
Yeah, who would you get career advice from?
Probably Andrew.
Okay. Can you tell me why? What the difference is there?
Yeah, because I think that, like, Andrew has been so absolutely... Like, you don't quite know his next move with, like, what he's going to play. And I think all the actors that I've ever talked about are good at what they do. But he's so malleable in what he does. And I don't know if he's got, like, a good agent or people just like his vibe. But he has done some all-over-the-board stuff that I'd be like, how do you keep getting these roles that clearly keep you moving and not just doing the same old thing and get typecast kind of thing? That would be... What's your secret, dude?
Okay, I like that very much. Would you rather get drunk with Pedro Pascal or Joseph Quinn?
Oh, shit. I thought you were going to say, like, Charlie Cox.
Laura.
No!
Oh my God, Laura, that's so hard.
That is hard.
That is such a hard question.
I just want to be like, why not both?
Yeah, no kidding.
I know.
I will say this, it would depend on the vibe of the night, but the vibe that I would want is like drinking with Pedro Pascal and like dancing. Joe doesn't...
Oh, because you would definitely dance.
Yeah, but if I was like going to get like shit-faced at a pub and just like sit and talk and like throw darts or whatever, it'd be Joe. But
Joe.
I would love to go dancing with Pedro Pascal.
Dance. Okay, great.
Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who would you rather introduce to your parents if you had to choose just one out of Charlie, Andrew, or Joe?
Oh.
It's the battle of the Brits. I had to do that.
Probably Andrew.
Okay.
I cannot tell you why.
Is it a personality thing?
I don't know what it is. I was going to say Charlie because I talk about Daredevil so much with my parents and be like, this is the guy. Yeah. But I talk to my mom all the time and say, every single time Andrew Garfield's on screen, I was like, that's your son-in-law. I think it'd be funny to be like, here he is. And he'd be like, I'm not, but hi. It's nice to meet
Oh my
you.
God. I have one. Can I make one up? I just made one up.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Would you rather greet Pedro saying, hi, daddy, or would you rather... It's gone. Oh no. You go up to, let's say, Andrew Garfield and go,
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Is that what you're saying?
like,
I was trying to
like a growl.
I was trying to see if I could do it.
Yeah, Laura did it better.
Like do like a little growl. Like
there we go.
Yeah.
Wait, who? Andrew?
Yeah, or whoever you want. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind saying hi, daddy, to Pedro Pascal, but it kind of seems like it's played out at this point that he'd be like, yeah, okay.
Or you can go to Pedro and then call someone else daddy.
I'd call Andrew daddy. I think he would be very
I think Andrew would love
like,
to be
I'm
called
not
daddy.
your daddy.
Yeah.
I'm your father.
I think that he's got like that weird like flirtiness in him that he would like go with the bit.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I also think growling at and like purring at Pedro Pascal, he would also go with that too. So
that clip where he does it, I'm like,
dude, I saw that the other day and I was like, what the hell?
He did that on fucking Instagram Live. He's like, and you're like,
I know. It was wild.
He needs to do that again so I can just be present during a live.
Yeah.
Would you rather sing karaoke with Joe Quinn or be stuck in traffic with Charlie Cox?
I'll be stuck in traffic with Charlie Cox. I'm not singing in public, even with Joe Quinn. Also, I would annoy Charlie Cox to no end. I would just have so many fucking questions for him. He would leave the car and be like, I'll just walk. It's okay.
Would you rather get ice cream with Andrew Garfield or cook a 5-course meal with Joseph Quinn?
Cook a 5-course meal.
I like that.
That sounds like fun.
Big buttery white fish with potatoes.
We would make some crazy shit.
I feel he's a little bit of a cook, isn't he?
I love his I've always said this about his off menu. He's just so into food. I love it. But I really like Gordon Ramsay and just like cooking in general. So that's a lot of fun.
I wonder if Joe's ever tried to make a beef Wellington. I think that's Ramsay's specialty.
Yeah, that and a scallop. If you can make a scallop well for good old Gordon Ramsay.
My boyfriend makes steaks the way Gordon Ramsay makes steaks.
How does Gordon Ramsay make steak?
I think it's just salt and pepper and then both sides in the pan. It's like really simple.
It's not a lot of butter. I've always seen him just like dousing butter on.
Oh, probably.
On steaks.
We don't use a ton of butter when we're cooking.
Oh, I do. It's a problem.
I go Julia Child on that shit. Honestly.
Me too. Me too.
Would you rather go bungee jumping off a cliff with Pedro or go skydiving with Charlie?
We're not like tandem, right? I would like to go skydiving, but not if it's tandem.
No, tandem.
Nah, I'm going bungee jumping.
Oh, you mean like you're tied together?
Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
You think he might be deaf by the time you get to the ground?
Yeah, might be.
You're just screaming your lungs out.
I don't know. That feels too intimate. I don't know why that feels like. Ugh. I'll do bungee jumping.
But all right. Well, hey, listen.
I definitely want to be tied to somebody. I'm not responsible for that parachute. Fuck no.
I mean, what a story to talk about later. Like,
yeah.
I went skydiving tandem with Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
What? Incredible. Would you rather go to the Oscars with Andrew or attend the Emmys with Pedro?
Oh damn. No, Oscars. Yeah.
Good choice. Because the after party.
Yeah.
It's the after party. Yeah. Last one.
Okay, what you got? Hit me.
Would you rather go to like Ireland with Joseph Quinn or Chile with Pedro Pascal?
Ooh, no, Ireland.
Yeah, I probably think Ireland, but I really want to go to Ireland.
Yeah. I didn't want to pick London because I figured Joe would like a nice rainy, cold place, and he can go visit Irish Mike, and y'all can hang out at the pub.
Awesome. Let's get into socials.
Oh,
Cole, you were the absolute shit. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Please come back.
Oh, I always will. I love talking to you guys. I love having these conversations, I think. Being across the country, I love talking to you guys.
Yes. Yay. Is it still cold there or is it warming up?
Last week over St. Patrick's Day, it snowed like a son of a bitch. It's getting warmer now, though.
Ooh, you're in Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oof,
yep.
Never mind.
And after moving from Florida, it's quite a
jump.
It's been in the 80s. It's been hot.
I know. I've been getting my dad's text of like, how's the cold? I'm like, yeah, well.
Oh,
not great.
I don't like that.
Oh, it's his favorite thing to do.
God, well, at least we're experiencing seasons. We get like maybe 2 weeks of cold, and that's about it.
See, that was one thing I didn't like about Florida. I do like the seasons. It sucks in the winter, but it is nice to, when you finally have that warm day, where you're like, oh, hell yeah, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of feel that way about cold days here, though. Like, it's always so hot here, and then you wake up one day and it's like 45, and you're like, oh, this is nice. It's gonna be 75 in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I grew up in Virginia, and it would be like in the 40s in the morning, and then by midday it would be like upper 50s, early 60s, and the sun is out. So by the time recess came, I was like, oh my God, it's warm.
Yeah, that was always really cool.
Yeah.
I always love that.
Anyway, socials. We got talking about fucking weather.
You're fine. You're good. You're good.
We ended on small talking about the weather.
I mean, I'd rather end on that than to have like a very like awkward start. I think this was great. This is very natural. You are the shit. Where can people find you?
Oh, people can find me on TikTok as long as it's still there. Just say Chole.
Yeah.
CholeMilla, and it's the same thing on Instagram, I think.
Yeah. Shannon?
Hi, I'm Shannon. I am Starry Eyes on Instagram. That's StarrYYEYES. And on TikTok, I am What's Up Shannon. Come say what's up.
And I'm Laura. I'm Laura
Vanessa.
I'm at Laura Vanessa, both on TikTok and Instagram. Laura with an H at the end, Vanessa with an H at the end. And then go follow our other socials. Danielle's not here, so I'll plug her socials. She is at DEEE Young on TikTok, at Miss Danielle, MISSDANYELL on Instagram. And our socials are at the Quinn Podcast on TikTok and at the Quinn Pod on Instagram. And we are now on YouTube Shorts too. Oh yeah, we're also on Twitter. Let's do this again, Cole. You were awesome. Go visit Cole at her kitchen.
Cooking with Cole.
Come stop by.
I have always said that one of these days when we have you on, I'm just gonna like set up in my kitchen and like honor.
Doesn't like Danielle do it in her kitchen?
She does it in like her dining room / kitchen area.
Oh, okay.
Like her dining room is like right off the kitchen. In all reality, she absolutely could, because she could just sit in the other direction. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you, Nicole, for coming by. Everybody wish Danielle good luck this week.
Love Danielle. We love you.
Good luck, Danielle.
Yeah, we love you. Bye.
Bye.